Stop the presses on a Saturday morning, a day after Cliff Kingsbury comes to the podium and pretty much tells you, yeah, we need you out there on that practice field, bucko. Washington has activated Terry McLaurin, superstar wide receiver one, off of the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. We can stop the charade and the hold in tactics of pretend ankle injuries now. We got to get ready for week one. Let's talk about it. Good morning, Washington Commanders Nation. It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Ramblin' with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. It is Saturday, August the 16th. Lots of preseason action league-wide today. Not Washington. We'll be playing the second of three preseason games on Monday night, August 18th. Versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and we will be seeing a good amount of starters when we do so. And speaking of starters, we have not been able to get the proper looks or the proper bump for our secondary from the wide receiver position all summer. Well, guess what? Practice is about to get a lot better because our guy, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver one, is about to get back on the field. So we think. So Cliff Kingsbury comes to the timeline yesterday and goes on multiple diatribes of, you got to be touching grass. You got to be on the grass with your guys to be conditioned, ready to go, and up to speed by week one. And voila, the next day, Terry McLaurin is miraculously placed back on or placed off of the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. And obviously where fans are going to immediately go with this whole conversation is, does this bring us any closer to a contract extension? And my answer to that may be a lazy one, but I believe it's yes and no. This feels like a deadline. This feels like our offer is on the table, but it's going to expire very soon. You either take this deal right now, Terry, or we can revisit this in the offseason while you play on your current deal. That's option one. Option two, they can restructure and move some money around just for the 2025 season. Don't think that's going to happen. While it could smooth things over in the meantime, don't think that's it. But we're headed in a world now where this extension may be completely off the table for 2025 if it does not get accepted soon, because it is time to ramp up, gear up, and prepare for week one. It takes a couple weeks to get back into football speed, to get back acclimated with the unit. And even if Linnell was right and Terry and Jaden have been doing these secret throwing sessions in the bubble daily at the park, it's not the same thing. Also, for those fans who actually thought that Terry had an injured ankle, I'm here to tell you that shit never happened. That shit was fictitious, folklore, urban legend. Never happened. There was not a single injured part on Terry McLaurin's body. That is the way that Terry and the team justified to the NFL and the NFLPA this hold-in situation, how he could be on the premises but not practicing. He was never injured. We have nothing to worry about there. That's why Dan Quinn had to do verbal gymnastics at the podium when they were talking about the process of Terry working through things right now. The only thing Terry is working through and rehabbing is a contract. That's it, a contract. And the one big point that a lot of people are missing here is that Terry is under contract for 2025. He's under contract this season. The team does not have to extend him. That is the biggest missing point of this entire situation. Terry McLaurin is not an unrestricted free agent. He probably will never hit unrestricted free agency. And per Ian Rappaport, this is definitely a small step for the team, and returning to practice is the next step. This does not mean an extension's getting done, but it tells me that they are growing to the final stages of, all right, man, are you taking what we're giving, or are we pushing this conversation to 2026? It feels like as soon as we see Terry McLaurin touch the practice field, the saga is over. The saga's over for now. Like, the saga is over for 2025 the second you see 17 put his helmet on and get out there at practice. The second you see Terry on the sideline on the preseasons with the game, with the guys. It's over. It's over. Whether an extension gets done this year or not, the second Terry continues business as usual and gets his ass back out there, it's over, because the team has full control and leverage in this situation. He is under contract, and they could make this even easier and franchise him when the season's over. So all leverage on the side of 17 is officially lost in this situation. It's been lost for quite some time. So we're going to see 17 soon at practice, and if we don't, that's when it really gets messy. I don't think that's going to be the case. This is very similar to last year with CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys when they were working through his extension. Different ages, different tier of wide receiver, similar situation. CeeDee Lamb got his extension like August 27th, a couple weeks before the season started, but the season didn't start the week of Labor Day last year. The season is starting early as shit. First week of September is week 1 in the NFL. We don't have time to play these games. It's already the middle of August. You need a couple weeks to get up to speed. Your body, the chemistry, and some of the new moving parts on the offense. Terry McLaurin ain't ran no live reps with Jalen Lane on the field. And he hasn't run a training camp practice yet with Deebo Samuel. So he has a new cast of characters and running mates in that room. He needs to practice. And Cliff Kingsbury is clearly in lockstep with the head coach, the GM. Everybody's moving on the same accord. One band, one sound, like Drumline. And the organization let it be known at that podium yesterday. Listen, brother, we know how this contract shit works, but the way that my offense works, we need you out there at practice. So I think we're drawing closer to a 2025 resolution. Does that give us the solution long term? No, but I think we're almost at a state of acceptance, meaning either they're going to get something done in the next week or so, or it's a play your contract out in 2025 and we will discuss in 2026, or we could play it by year. We could play franchise tag cha-cha-cha over the next couple years and have complete contractual control over one Terry McLaurin. I'm at the point now, because I thought this shit was going to get done before camp. I'm at the point now that as long as he's out there, I'm not really concerned whether an extension takes place. And you're going to be like, oh, Rio, you're siding with the team. Listen, bro, I'm siding with, I want Terry out there week 1. I need us getting right back to the shits and putting belt to New York football giant ass at Northwest Stadium on September 7th. So if they got to shelve these conversations to 2026, do it. While us content creators, we finna milk this situation for everything it got, for every little update that comes out. I'm over it. I'm over it for right now. I'm tired of training camp updates about Michael Strackens and Chris Moores and KJ, the friendly ghost Osborns of the world. I need 17, 1, and 83, and 85's often injured ass on the football field. I need week 1 of practice to be the main characters and not the side character NPC wide receivers on the football field. I don't need Jaden throwing it to Lyft drivers in preseason, in practice. None of it. I don't need that. I cannot wait till this roster gets down to 53 so I never have to see Jaden throw to a Goldman Sachs banker ever again. But this is good news. It may not be the best news toward a Terry extension, but it means he's going to get his ass back out there practicing and on the field sometime soon, because we got a game to play in 23 days. 23 days. No, lied. 22 days. We are DeShazer Everett days away from the start of the 2025 season. 22. That's 3 weeks in a day. 3 weeks and tomorrow, Washington will be hosting the New York Giants at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard at Northwest Stadium. So we don't have time for that. It's even less when you consider that Terry has to be practicing at full speed. So they said, we're going to dead all these hypotheticals about, is he going to milk this ankle injury into the season? Is he going to? Nope, there will be none of that nonsense happening on this team. And maybe this is a good thing. You watching Hard Knocks, you saw the James Cook situation. They showed him during his hold-in process on Hard Knocks, and boom, contract extension was done. This is a lot more complicated a situation, but it's comparable in the sense that running backs really don't get paid in this league, and neither do 30-year-old receivers on contract number 3. So there are things to juxtapose from the Bills and the Washington Commanders situation. But this is good. This is a good sign. I don't see Terry refusing to practice once he's been lifted off the PUP list. So we should be seeing 17 on that practice field very, very soon and back on the sideline, But this does not mean a deal is closer. I want to put that out there, Ja-like, but not really. Not really, But now we're going to see, is he willing to get back on the field? They're pretty much putting the cards on the table and calling Terry's bluff. How serious are you about this hold-in, brother? We've now taken you off the PUP list. We've now dissipated this fugazi sham of an ankle injury that we have listed here. Are you still willing to be a spectator at practice, or are you going to show up and get your monies, man? Are you going to show up? Maybe showing up could help smooth over bridging that gap for these last couple million. You never know, man. But seeing Terry back out on the football field will do all the difference for fans, for morale, for the team. And Adam Peters clearly does not play when it comes to negotiations. And we've heard all of the sort over the last couple days. But I think we see Terry back on the practice field next week. Damn, man. Well, we were never going to see Terry in the joint practices versus the Ravens, but Terry should be back on the field soon. Cliff said, I need my wide receiver 1 on the field. He said he needs Noah too, to be determined on that. But I expect we see Terry McLaurin very, very soon. Anything else about his contract or any updates to this situation, I'll be one of the first people on YouTube breaking it down for you. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio out. Have a blessed weekend.